It's the 2008 US Open quarter-finals. Novak Djokovic's fourth-round encounter with Tommy Robredo, which Djokovic won in 5 sets. During his win over Robredo, Djokovic took 2 medical timeouts during the game and yet again angered fellow players. This wasn't the first time it had happened. Roddick, in a press conference before their quarter-final match, jokingly said Djokovic had overcome 2 hurt ankles as well as a back injury and a rib and a cramp, bird flu, anthrax, SARS, common cough and cold. He's either quick to call the trainer or he's the most courageous guy of all time. It's up for you guys to decide, Roddick said. After the match, a similarly entertaining on-court post-match interview saw Djokovic respond to Roddick for his comments, which annoyed the New York audience. "I know they're already against me because they think I'm faking everything," he said as the crowd's taunts towards Djokovic intensified. "That's not nice anyhow to say in front of this crowd, to say I have 16 injuries and I'm faking. I have nothing against anybody, it's just that it wasn't nice."
You know, Andy was saying that I have 16 injuries on the last match, so obviously I don't, right?
Didn't look like it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Years later, Roddick claimed he put Novak up against a locker during a post-match confrontation, before deciding to back off after seeing the size of Djokovic's trainer. This is an early example of many where Djokovic has claimed to be suffering from multiple injuries only to then go out and play tennis at his absolute best.
2023 US Open champion Novak Djokovic.
There have been matches where Djokovic has been losing a set. He then calls an injury timeout and then he comes back onto the court and starts winning again. So, what is going on? Djokovic has been playing tennis at a professional level for 21 years. Meaning a lot of injuries over time make sense. However, when he claims to be injured, but then goes on to win everything, this is where the controversy lies. Is there a sneaky method to his madness? To deceive fellow tennis players or fans? Or is he simply just the greatest of all time? Is almost doing the splits every time he runs for a ball taking a toll on his body? Let's find out. Welcome back to Tennis Tales. Today we get into the controversy and conspiracy of Novak Djokovic and his injuries. Novak Djokovic has hit back at claims he's faking his injuries, declaring his injuries are real, and it's about how he copes with, maintains and manages them out on the court. Djokovic laughed off claims he's been faking a torn hamstring, saying he didn't care because it gives him motivation to win. Back in 2022, Djokovic's injured left leg was the talk of Melbourne Park after he arrived with the injury and took medical timeouts in his second and third round matches. However, in the match against Alex de Minaur, Djokovic dominated like someone who is not injured, winning with a scoreline of 6-3, 6-4, 6-1. Was he trying to deceive fellow players by just saying he was injured? Maybe, however, Djokovic hasn't always powered through injuries. He retired during the Wimbledon quarterfinals in 2017 due to an elbow problem, and an ailing shoulder forced him to pull out during his 2019 US Open fourth round. He lost in Australia, a fourth round defeat against Chung Hae-un in 2018, which led to him getting elbow surgery. The Serbian has experienced his fair share of physical troubles over the years. There's times when he has fought through the pain, like when Djokovic looked to be troubled with an abdominal issue in overcoming Taylor Fritz in a 5-set thriller that took place at the Australian Open on February 12, 2021. The degree of the injury has been put in doubt by a number of tennis figures. American Taylor Fritz took to Twitter to talk about athletes and injuries. He said that 80% are dealing with something in tennis, but the media overfocuses on the top players and spends more time talking about an issue they're having. I honestly think some people stretch the severity of an injury to take the pressure off them, to make them perform better. I don't think people fake injuries at all, but I think sometimes they stretch it a little to make themselves feel less pressure and play better, he wrote. However, Fritz referred to Djokovic's struggles after a muscle tear, which the Serb said he suffered in 2021. Fritz claimed that in that third-round match with Djokovic, he wasn't convinced that the former was struggling. Fritz claimed that he knew that Djokovic would come out strong in the fifth because he didn't look like he was struggling in the third and fourth.
Again, when he looks like he's in real trouble physically, he somehow conjures up the win.
And that he was still happy about it, claiming that Djokovic did not seem injured. Yet, after 2 years, Djokovic insisted that he underwent a lot of medical tests because of that instance. But he said he is used to pain, like those thousands of tennis players and athletes every day. He joked he wasn't interested in rumors, claiming that it's fine with him and that they even give him more strength and more motivation. In 2011, Djokovic continued his remarkable campaign and made it to the final to face Nadal. After pulling out to a 2-set lead, Nadal took an epic third in a tiebreaker against Djokovic, who called for a trainer. Djokovic took a medical timeout to receive treatment on his lower back and rib pains, and then for leg cramps. As Djokovic was booed by the raucous New York crowd, Novak waved his hands, asking for more noise. But as with his match in Australia with Fritz, Djokovic came out performing even better than before and won the final set 6-1 to add the US Open trophy to his incredible season.
Sure looks like Novak and his team knew he was going to win today.
Did the medical timeout help his injury, or was it all part of the plan to deceive others? He finished his 2011 campaign with a win-loss record of 64-2. During the 2020 Australian Open, Novak Djokovic said he was experiencing a medical condition he couldn't really explain when he needed to take breaks for it. The Serb saw the doctor before his semi-final match against Roger Federer and again before his final match against Dominic Thiem. Later, he left the court before the fifth to get treatment. A lot of fans and experts were confused by the move and wondered if Djokovic was manipulating medical timeouts. Novak said he had no idea what was wrong with his body though. Djokovic claimed that he didn't hurt himself, and it seems strange because he did pretty much the same things he always did. But it seemed like all of his energy went out. He claimed he would get dizzy every time he threw the ball. At the end of the match, critics began to ask why Djokovic was allowed to take 2 medical breaks while losing, but showed no signs of being hurt during the rest of the match.
It's remarkable how many times he's come in and not had to deal with anything. I mean, there were times in the past where he's pulled out with a blister.
There's been plenty of tennis figures questioning the legitimacy of Djokovic's injuries. However, Djokovic's toughness has made him, in the eyes of many players, more than just an athlete. When asked about Djokovic's injury situation, Aussie Daria Saville, who was fighting back from a torn ACL, said she'd been asked to clarify the distinction between an injury and on-court adversity, and couldn't think of a better example. Playing with a sore, playing with a niggle, playing with chronic pain is not an injury like we kind of define it, but he is a machine, and he is able to take that pain tolerance to a whole new level, she said. So, we will never know if Djokovic is deceiving the fans. As the fans, news outlets and other players have a point, but he's been playing professionally for 21 years, so it's understandable maybe he just keeps winning because he's the best and looks after his injuries. Or maybe his age has caught up with him. Who knows?